Everyone has a story. Each person's character and perspective is made up of countless lived experiences, some shared by others and some unique to them. We're living in a society where polarizing topics such as poverty, healthcare, gun control, and as of late, the stand your ground law seems to divide us. We allow stereotypes fed to us through the media to influence how we interact with those around us. Fear and a lack of understanding of one another's stories stops us from having conversations and getting to know one another. Often we feel alone in our view of the struggle, or that our struggle isn't worthy of expressing. That's why TeamVision has created Fearless Voices of the Struggle. Fearless Voices of the Struggle is a way to create this dialogue through artistic expression. Each week, a new artist is selected to compose an original piece that details their experiences and perspectives. TeamVision will interview the artist and create a video to represent their story. This web series was created to inspire a much-needed sense of compassion for those we do not understand, as well as promote more open and honest dialogue among us. Because we are all caught in a system of struggle, even if everyone's struggle is different.
What's up, y'all? I'm the chosen poet, and this is my story. Sir is my heart's expression of really all the rage and anger that I actually had built up inside for my father. It was inspired by a conversation we had because he had heard a poem I had written for a friend, and he said he wanted me to write a poem about him. Asked him, was he sure? And he said yeah, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't ready for what came after. He said he was like, write a poem, something like, my daddy is, or my dad did, but that was really hard for me because he was never there. The only memories in my early childhood I have of my father is when I was 2 or 3, one Christmas he showed up with a bike. After that, I was 18 and about to graduate from high school before I saw him again. And when he showed up for my graduation, I was more angered than happy. I would have rather him not be there. Because he had missed out on everything else. I felt like he was coming in at a point where I had succeeded, but he wasn't there for the struggle to success. Growing up, it was me, my mom, my grandmother, and my brother. And so brother was the only male role model in my life, period. And mama worked 3 jobs to support the family. We went to school, we came home, we took care of grandma. That was life. I felt like he had kind of just thrown me away. It didn't really bother me until I really sat down to think about it. All the things normal little girls got to do that I missed out on, and the lessons that daddy is supposed to teach you that I never got taught. In the beginning, it was very negative because I felt like it was something I had done wrong. So then I was beating myself up about it. Honestly, I wear 32 stripes. They were 32 attempts to end my life because I felt like I wasn't really living. I did. I attempted suicide. The first time it was because I was molested, and I felt like a father should have been there. Even if he couldn't stop it, you should have been there to comfort me in the aftermath. That fueled a fire that was already burning for a hatred toward the male species, because it's every man that's entering my life is hurting my life, and it felt like an endless cycle. So much prayer. I promise you, I got to the point where I prayed so much, I was like, God probably tired of looking down and seeing my name on the ID. I was determined that I would make it. I was Christian raised, and I had this radical faith, and I was like, I've got to get through this. I think it's more of a hurt, but my hurt comes across as anger. Because I feel like, first of all, as the child, I shouldn't have to initiate us trying to move past what we've had to deal with in the past. I almost feel as if the future is going to look a lot like the past. I don't see me even trying for this relationship, because I feel like when I did try, it wasn't taken seriously. He didn't try to understand. He didn't want to hear me. When I wrote the piece, I realized that's not just my story. Like, it's a story that I share with many individuals. Like, I'm not the only person who grew up without a father. And somebody has to be the voice. Like, somebody has to talk about it. Don't be angry. One, I understand that a lot of times our anger is internalized. Like, we're angry with ourselves because at a young age, you can't comprehend that it's not something you've done that was wrong. You have to take that anger and channel it and make it this motivation that's unstoppable. I would say to any child, male or female, growing up without a parent, either or, to make sure that the relationship with the one you have is strong. And make sure that not a day goes by without you letting them know how important they really are to your life. If I could make him listen, I would tell him, thank you for making me the woman I am. Because even though he wasn't there, he made me an extremely strong, extremely independent woman. And I would also let him know that I feel sorry for him because he missed out on getting to know an amazing person.
Usually a poem about a father begins with a pen at the beginning of the page, and by the time it reaches the end, you know the piece is complete. But to write a poem about you, sir, I would have to begin at the end and backtrack over the words written and let the pen suck the ink back into the barrel until the words are missing like you were. And I would have to send my journal back to the factory and have its lines removed to represent the emptiness in my heart that was supposed to be a father. Sir, you said you wanted me to write a piece that started with something like, my dad is, but since you weren't around for me to get to know you, it seems easier for me to stand here and say what you are not, were not, and will not in my life. Like, you are not my father, you are merely the donor of the sperm that got me here. See, a real man would never use "they kept me from you" as an excuse. He would have fought for his daughter. A real life father would cross the hottest desert, climb the highest mountain, journey to the bottom of the sea, tunnel through the floor, or crash through the ceiling to make sure his princess knows the qualities of a king, so that one day she can sit on her throne and know how to be a queen, who isn't insecure when it comes to the art of submitting, and will never be worried about a nigga hitting her, cause she'll know that super dad is coming to her rescue. But I can't even trust you to come through and make sure I'm among the living unless there's something in it for you. Every time you come around, you got your hand out, looking for a handout. But if I ask you to hold a 20, you just about pass out. So, excuse me when I look you square in the eyes with no fear in my heart and tell you the same door you used to walk into my life, you could turn around and walk out, sir. You were not out there busting your behind working 3 jobs to support me. You weren't there the night I was kidnapped and raped to protect me or the day I raped to console me. You weren't at any of my dance recitals or basketball games. You were not even there when I was invited to the White House to watch me board that plane and scream through the terminals how proud of me you were. Not even there to congratulate me when I received the President's Award for Academic Excellence not once, but twice. You were not there to teach me what to look for in a husband, so I'm not understanding how you think you can issue the criteria for my wife. Not saying I want one, just keeping my options open. What I'm telling you, you wasn't there when things got tough. For all the struggles that I dealt with, sir, let me forewarn you. You will not be sharing my spotlight with me when I make it big, and trust me, I will make it. You will not receive any VIP seating or backstage passes. You will be standing outside with the masses. You will not get a shout out when I win my first Grammy, nor will you have the pleasure of giving me away on the day that I get married. I drafted this piece to reveal to you the rage left inside this daughter that grew up without a father. See, I never really had a man to care. So when it comes to giving my trust to men, I am scared. It feels weird calling a man I barely know dad. So you should probably get used to answering to, sir.